Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms, and today I'm going to start a new series entitled Best of the 21st Century. This is a series that I've wanted to do for quite a long time, and now I figure, it's time to just go ahead and do it. And basically the idea behind this series is, you hear people a lot say, oh, they just don't make movies like they used to. Oh, there's just no good movies that come out anymore. And, I maybe on a huge scale that might be true. Maybe there's not quite as many good movies as there used to be, but I still feel that there are still a lot of great movies that have came out since the year 2000. So what I'm going to do in this series is, show you 5 films that I think are great films that's came out this century. 5 films that I love, I really enjoy, and I'm going to recommend these to you that if you haven't seen them, to check them out. Now, a lot of them are going to be ones that, are probably more known, but I am going to occasionally throw in one that I think is great that you might not have heard of or might not have checked out. And, it's going to be all genres too, not just horror. Now today, these are 5 horror films. I purposely wanted to start this with 5 great horror films from this century, just because horror seems to be like the main thing people watch. On my channel, just here on YouTube a lot. So these are 5 great horror films that's came out since the year 2000. And first up is American Psycho. To me, this film is a modern day classic. I can never get tired of watching this film. I fell in love with this film as soon as it came out, and I've adored it ever since. I mean, this is what made me into a Christian Bale fan, and I've followed his career very closely ever since, seeing virtually every film he's put out since this one. It's just, man, the dark comedy to it, the brutality to it, and it's just fucking funny. I mean, it's more comedy than it is horror, but it's definitely horror. I mean, this guy is a monster. He's doing horrific things. But man, I can never get tired of this film. I love it, and it just, for me, with age, it just gets better. It really encompasses that, that dirty, mean-ass Wall Street, guy that's only in it for the money, but, this guy is also a killer by night. What a great film. And, after reading the book, I read the book after seeing the movie. When I read that book, I'm like, man, how did they ever make this into a movie? I mean, it just seems like it would have been impossible to come up with a screenplay, but they did, and it turned out really awesome. So yeah, American Psycho is definitely one of the best of the 21st century, and that is from the year 2000, in case I didn't mention that. Next up is from 2001. This is Fred Vogel's August Underground, the film that started it all for Toe Tag Pictures. This is the first film from Toe Tag that I ever saw, and I was utterly blown away at how realistic the depiction of murder was in this film. This film is definitely not comedic whatsoever. This is very dark, very fucking evil, and very savage in its depiction of these serial killers that go around killing people and tormenting people when they film it all. I mean, it's like you're watching their random home video stuff, like people would, normally have a videotape of a bunch of stuff on it, like a birthday party or whatever. But with these guys, it's a killer. They're going from one kill to another to, some random stuff of shooting this fucking, I think it was a donkey with these big ass balls. And then it just goes into somebody getting killed again. I mean, it's like you're watching the random home videos, and it comes off so authentic. I just love this movie. It's still one of my favorites from Toe Tag, and it's definitely a standard setter for the underground and for independent horror cinema. So yeah, August Underground. Next up, from 2004, it is Shaun of the Dead. Hands down, one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. Just a great homage to, George Romero style zombies. And also in the way the film is made is very much like a George Romero type film, but with a lot of, comedy added in. That's why it's a romantic comedy with zombies. That's exactly what it is. This is another film that all of these are ones that I can just watch over and over, and I just never get tired of them. Absolutely love them. I love having the Steelbook edition on Blu-ray. It's really awesome. Just such a funny, great, witty, and brilliantly written and acted film. It's just perfect. There's nothing about this film at all that I would change. Definitely one of the best of this century. Next up is from 2005. It is Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. Yet another one that I consider a modern day classic. This is a film that I saw on opening night, and as soon as I left, you know, I was telling my friends that were with me, I was like, that film is destined to be a cult classic. I mean, it just had that feeling to it. I just was completely blown away by this. I absolutely loved it from that night on, and this is by far the most film from Rob Zombie. I've watched the most from him. I just love it. I think, you know, Lords of Salem, that's one that will, you know, spoiler alert, will show up at some point on this show. But I still think that this is his top film. This is the one that he is yet to top, and honestly, I don't think he ever will. There's just a certain, all the elements came together for this film. I love it. I love how gritty it is. I love how, you know, these three are the anti-heroes that you're following through the film. And they're doing all this bad and nasty shit. You hate to see them get taken out at the end of the film. It's just, you know, Rob Zombie really draws you into these characters and makes you feel that way for them. At least, you know, my end. But man, this film is just fucking fantastic. All kinds of great cameos of classic horror actors in this. And of course, you know, you got Bill Moseley and Sid Haig in it. I mean, it's just, oh, so great. Next up is a film from last year that not a lot of people still talk about, and I think it's a damn shame. I've mentioned this several times on this channel. This movie is fucking great. From Brandon Cronenberg, Antiviral. This film is a fantastic sci-fi horror film that is based in the future, where people that worship celebrities and stuff like that, the celebrity worship thing has just gotten completely out of hand, to where people are having their self injected with the same virus or illness that their favorite celebrities get, so they can feel closer to them. And there are these shops that pop up that have pieces of meat that are harvested from actual cells from these celebrities, and they can buy them and they can eat it or just do whatever they want with it. It sounds very crazy, and it is very crazy, but when you watch the movie, it's very plausible. And plus, you know, with how crazy, you know, the celebrity worship is nowadays and how out of hand it's gotten, I don't think this is too far of a stretch of an idea of what we might see, you know, some years down the road, and probably not too far, unfortunately. So yeah, guys, that is the first one here. Try not to knock shit over here. Just to give you a little recap: Antiviral, Devil's Rejects, Shaun of the Dead, August Underground, and American Psycho. So like I said, this is something that I'll just pop up every now and then, pull out 5 films from my collection and recommend these as films for you guys to check out. Definitely films to pick up, because there are great films that's came out, you know, since the year 2000. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the first episode of Best of the 21st Century. And leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of it, guys. Thanks a lot and have a good one. Later.